Everybody says I want to represent India, but where is I want to win for India?
पता तो सबको है कि क्या करना चाहिए वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए, लेकिन कंसिस्टेंटली कोई नहीं करता है, फिर वो ड्रीम ड्रीम ही रह जाएगा।
I've been a fan of Eskirosi, so it will be a pleasure to play against him.
अभी हर एक टीम में यूजुअली दो इंपोर्ट प्लेयर्स तो देखने मिलते हैं, लेकिन हम तभी भी पांचों इंडियंस के साथ खेल रहे थे, अभी भी पांचों इंडियंस के साथ ही खेलेंगे यहाँ पे।
Today I've got with me the VCLSA team, and of course, who better than the IGL, the coach, and of course the man who's created this team by himself and alongside with me a little bit also. Is we've got KappA, we've got aRubyz, the coach, and we've got Ryzen, who is the leader of the team. Welcome, guys. Welcome. How has your evening been? How's your day been so far?
Been
I-
fantastic, honestly. Great day of practice so far. So happy for that every time.
प्रैक्टिस देख रहा था,
Hmm.
मजा आया। टीम बीट बाय बीट इंप्रूव कर रहे हैं
Hmm.
डे बाय डे।
I'm going to start off with something straight off the bat that you guys just went past, and that was, of course, GE Fight Night. You guys played against the academy teams of DRX and RRQ. I want to start with you, Ryzen. Tell me, what was your experience like? This is the first time you played as the GE Academy team. It wasn't the easiest of games. Tell me what was happening through the games.
Yeah, we played the game and we got punished at our mistakes. Like we started, we were confident, but when we got in the game, the pressure was on to us. We were a bit nervous because it was a international team.
Yep.
So yeah, the pressure got to us. We made mistakes, but at the end of the game, I think we were okay with it. Obviously, not okay in the terms of losing, but yeah, we felt like it was good. It was okay. That we will learn from our mistakes and obviously do better next time.
Got it. Rubies, what was the three main takeaways you had after that two games against DRX and RRQ?
We had a lot to work on, which I already knew, but that that's obvious. It did show us a lot of our mistakes, and the main thing was I wanted to get as many tournament or match reps that we can in before VCO.
Yep.
Just to help out, kind of see how it'll be like, how we'll be under pressure. It's kind of like a little test of how that would go, right? So we took it very seriously, and it really, shed a lot of light on how it's going to go if things go wrong, if pressure gets to us, things like that. So it helps a lot with the prep.
बेसिकली नया टीम है तो थोड़ा और टाइम चाहिए।
Yep.
अलग अलग कंपोजिशन एजेंट्स देख रहे थे, खेल के ट्राई आउट कर रहे थे, और ऐसा नहीं कि हम लोग कभी डीआरएक्स के एकेडमी के सामने खेले नहीं थे। हम लोग स्क्रीम्स में खेले हैं और रिजल्ट्स हमेशा उनके साइड में ही रहे हैं, तो ऐसा कुछ सरप्राइजिंग नहीं था, लेकिन बहुत कुछ बेटर कर सकते थे, और उसके बाद ही जैसे कोच ने बोला है कि उसके बाद ही उस पर काम करना चालू कर दिया।
Keeping aside fight night, talk to me about the last 1 month. How is the preparation for VCLSA going? What do you guys feel about the competition that's slowly been revealed?
The prep has been going good, but obviously teams face some inevitable issues like we are, but we are fixing them. And obviously, we want to give good competition to our opponents. We want to play fundamentally right and have a strategic approach to the game. So yeah, we are doing that, and hopefully the results will come in.
All right, hopefully. Rubies, I want you to tell me a little bit about what you have seen, or have you seen South Asia before, and what led you to coming to Global Esports Academy.
I haven't seen South A before, but it has been interesting, especially just coming over and seeing all of APAC, and then also scrimming teams from APAC and China. It's been a lot different than NA, because in NA basically everyone just scrims each other. There's like 20 teams. There's not that much, so you really don't have options.
Yep.
Here there's like 50 teams. It's crazy. You get to see a whole different sides of the game. You get to see all the different ideas. It's very nice and refreshing, honestly. I like having a big variety of teams we can practice against, a lot of really good teams as well. And then, on top of that, all the regions have a lot of academy teams, which we don't have in NA really. So getting to see all that, where it's like a lot of growth and a lot of development of like the younger players or like newer talent. They have a gateway of doing that, which is just fantastic to see. Obviously, we're one of those as well. So it's a good thing. I enjoy it.
All right, that's cool. I'm glad. First of all, welcome to South Asia as well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
hope
great.
you like it here as much as you can spend your time here. Swinging over to KappA. KappA, आपने खेला है, आपने जिया है, आपने जीता है, और अब आप मैनेज कर रहे हो एक टीम को जो अगले स्टेप आपके लेने वाले हैं. what do you feel about our team and what do you feel about the current VCLSA? And give me a little bit of comparison, जो आपके टाइम में था और जो अभी है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए हमें.
जब भी हम खेल रहे थे तभी इंपोर्ट प्लेयर्स काफी कम थे. अभी हर एक टीम में यूजुअली 2 इंपोर्ट प्लेयर्स तो देखने मिलते हैं, लेकिन हम तभी भी 5 इंडियंस के साथ खेल रहे थे. अभी भी 5 इंडियंस के साथ ही खेलेंगे यहाँ पे.
Yeah.
तो और होप करता हूँ कि वही रिजल्ट हम लोग फिर से ला पाए. जल्दी नहीं है, हमें टाइम लेंगे, लेकिन पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट्स आएंगे.
Yep.
और बेसिकली यंग टीम है, एवरेज एज ही टीम का 20 समथिंग होगा. तो यंग प्लेयर्स है काफ़ी, लेकिन यंग प्लेयर्स को बहुत ही डिसिप्लिन सिखाना पड़ता है. हर रोज उनको पूछना पड़ता है, ये किया क्या, वो किया क्या, क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो. करना चाहिए. उनको पता है कि ये सब जरूरी चीज़ है, लेकिन करते नहीं है. तो उस पर ध्यान दे रहा हूँ ज़्यादा कि मेहनत करने के लिए रेडी है, सिर्फ वर्ड्स में नहीं, एक्शन में चाहिए.
Absolutely.
तो एक्शन में आ रहा है, थोड़ा थोड़ा कन्वर्ट हो रहा है.
So let's move on to a little bit about what KappA, आप ही start करो. I want you to tell me about this. You've played for so many seasons. Tell me a little bit about competition wise जो आपने देखा है. आपके साथ वाले प्लेयर्स भी अभी भी खेल रहे हैं थोड़े बहुत, लेकिन नए प्लेयर्स भी आए हुए हैं. Talk to me about the competition. What do you feel like? Is it same as it was before? Is it better? What do you think about current VCS?
नहीं, मुझे लगता है कंपटीशन बेटर है, क्योंकि जो 20 प्लेयर्स रोटेट होते थे उसमें से बहुत कम हो गए. नए टैलेंट्स को स्पेस मिला है. तो मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा गेम में चेंज आएगा, पेस चेंज होगा. बेटर मैकेनिक्स वाले प्लेयर्स भी आए हैं, बहुत सारे यंग टैलेंट्स है. और मैं होप करता हूँ ओवरऑल कंपटीशन क्वालिटी बहुत अच्छा हो जाए, क्योंकि पहले सिर्फ इंडियन प्लेयर्स थे, अभी इंटरनेशनल कोचेस है, इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स भी इन्वॉल्व है VCSA में. तो ऑब्वियसली क्वालिटी तो ऊपर जाना ही चाहिए. और जैसे कि पुराने कुछ प्लेयर्स है, लेकिन वो पुराने प्लेयर्स भी काफी एक्सपीरियंस लेके आए हैं यहाँ पे फिर से खेलने के लिए लीग में. तो होप करता हूँ बढ़िया जाए कंपटीशन और नई चीजें देखने को मिले, और इसमें से कोई यंग टैलेंट बहुत शार्प निकले जो इंटरनेशनल स्टेज पे भी जाके उतना ही परफॉर्म कर पाए जितना इंडिया में करते हैं.
Yeah, well, we're hoping for the same. So I wanted to ask you, particularly as a coach, this year Valorant Riot has completely changed things, right? Maps keep changing every 2 months. Every act there's a new set of maps. So how are you going to tackle that with a brand new team? Have you already started preparing for maps that are yet to come back in Ascent and Icebox, or are you focusing on the maps that you have at hand right now?
So right now, been primarily focusing on the current map pool because that's our next tournament, right? But I have, yes, done some prep for Ascent and Icebox, mainly, because might as well stay on top of it. And for like agents and things like that, right? Generally, I like to keep it role specific, but obviously we have a lot of young talent, so I do expect them to be learning a lot of new agents, and we have been, as part of our prep, having to learn new agents, especially with Masters coming around, right? We see a lot of Tejo, we see a lot of Viper, things like that.
Yeah, I think I'm a fan of constant change, because if it keeps changing, then it's better. I feel like brings more excitement to the game.
I mean, Valorant's always been the one where it's going to change constantly over and over again. Like, we used to have 1 year metas. Now it's a couple months metas, depending how fast agents come out. So it's nothing new. It's just faster now.
Yeah.
Which it's a part of Valorant, so I like it.
All right, that's good.
Keeps it fresh.
There is, of course, a very clear and out there statement that, Indian Valorant is not at the level that we would hope for it to be. It's not been there for the last 5 years. We've had a lot of Indian talent that has tried its level best to get to that point. We've seen only 2 of them so far make it to the very top. But I want you guys to give your opinions one by one. We can start off with KappA bhai. Why do you think there is a lack of Indian talent at the VCT? And can Indian Valorant, in your opinion, reach there?
अगर कंसिस्टेंटली हार्डवर्क करेंगे और जो उनको जो कोचेस गाइडेंस देते हैं या सीनियर प्लेयर्स जो गाइडेंस देते हैं उसको फॉलो करेंगे तो बेशक जा सकते हैं. मुझे लगता है कि प्लेयर्स रीजंस ढूंढते हैं कि एम ट्रेन ना करने के लिए, खुद के वर्ड्स रिव्यू ना करने के लिए. लेकिन बेसिकली पता तो सबको है कि क्या करना चाहिए वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए, लेकिन कंसिस्टेंटली कोई नहीं करता है. बस लेजी हो जाता है. फैमिली का भी रीजन दे देते हैं कि ये करने जाना था, वो करने जाना था. ब्रो, कुछ भी कर ले, लेकिन तुझे जो रेगुलरली चीजें करनी है वो करनी है. अगर तुम लोग गोल सिर्फ इंडिया में खेलने का रख रहे हो तो नहीं कर सकते भाई. कुछ सिर्फ रिप्रेजेंट करके आ जाओगे, वहां पे कुछ इम्पैक्ट नहीं कर पाओगे. लेकिन अगर गोल रखोगे कि वहां पे जाके मुझे जीतना है तो उतना हार्डवर्क भी करना पड़ेगा। अभी थियरी चलते रहता है तभी भी कितने प्लेयर्स लॉस्ट रहते हैं, बाजू में फोन पे स्क्रोलिंग करते रहते हैं। फोकस जितना कम टाइम करोगे प्रैक्टिस, लेकिन वो पूरा टाइम फोकस के साथ करना है ना, क्वालिटी प्रैक्टिस होना चाहिए। क्वांटिटी वाला प्रैक्टिस करके क्या मतलब है? प्लेयर्स को वही नहीं समझता कि टीम प्रैक्टिस के अलावा भी खुद पे काम करना जरूरी है। इंडिविजुअली इंप्रूव करने के लिए खुद के वार्ड्स देखना, नए गेम्स देखना, दूसरे टीम्स इंटरनेशनल टीम्स क्या कर रहे हैं वो देखना, वो खुद से इनपुट लेके आना, टीम को बताना, प्लेयर्स को बताना, और खुद का एम ट्रेन करना। एक हर रोज का रूटीन होना चाहिए डेली। यहाँ तक तो प्लेयर्स को खाना खाने का रूटीन भी नहीं है, मतलब कौन से टाइम पे खाना खाएंगे वो भी फिक्स नहीं होता है प्लेयर्स का। अभी मन किया तो खेलते खेलते खा लेंगे, तो मतलब बेसिकली बहुत डिसिप्लिन लैक करता है, मुझे लगता है ऐसा। और पहले वाले प्लेयर्स भी वही मिस्टेक्स कर रहे थे, और अब अगर अभी सीनियर प्लेयर्स कोई मिल रहे हैं या फिर कोचेस मिल रहे हैं प्लेयर्स को, तो फिर अगर उन्होंने जो मिस्टेक्स किए हैं उनको पता है कि क्या चेंज करना जरूरी है, तो उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना नए प्लेयर्स का काम है। और वो खुद से होना चाहिए। बाहर से 10 बार बोल देंगे, लेकिन अगर खुद से स्टेप लेके नहीं करोगे, सुधरोगे नहीं, तो फिर वो ड्रीम ड्रीम ही रह जाएगा इंटरनेशनल पे कुछ करना। फिर वही इंडिया में खेलो और इधर ही बचते रहो।
Players are not honest with themselves, not honest with the management, what they are doing in their life. They're not disciplined, they lack discipline, they're not patient. To actually get to a level where, like international level, you have to be patient and you have to have discipline. Like you have to do everything. And on top of that, you have to do more. You have to teach your teammates, you have to teach everybody around you how to play the game, like whatever input you can do. I feel like players don't do that. They just want to make it fast, which is a mistake. If you try to make it fast, you will make a lot of mistakes. First of all, they should fix their life, what they're doing in their life. Like just to play this game just for the fact that you're good at it, you should not do that. If you want to go professional in anything, you should treat this like a sport, like a real sport. Like you should be physically good also. Like you should fix your routine. You should, be mentally clean. Get rid of the bad habits. Then come to practice. Then have a, clean conversation with everybody. Respect everybody. Be disciplined. Do everything that you're getting told by your management, the coach. Follow what the coach is saying. Yeah, then obviously results will come. If you're honest and you're humble and you don't have ego issues, yeah, then results will come. I think that's what Indian players lack. I won't say that I'm the perfect player. I have also lacked these. So yeah, I think if we do this, results will come.
Putting in the time, putting in the effort, that's the main thing. All the Masters teams, they put in the time, they put in the effort, they do the prep, right? They work it out through all their problems together, one by one, whatever it is, together as a team mostly. The best ones are always ones that do that. And then for us, right, just because I've only worked with this Indian team, but basically from what I've seen, it seems like just being a bit behind in general as to what should be a team, right? Everyone kind of working together. There's always going to be problems, no matter what team. Every team deals with that. So how you work through them together, understanding you need to be open, honest with your teammates, deal with the problems head on, as a team, and you'll come out the other side as a much better team in general, right? If you want to be at the top, you have to do all those things, and you have to be basically as close to you can as perfect with it, right? Like it's a lot of effort. It's very hard to do. It's much easier not to care about it and just play your game, hope that it works, right? But that's not how you get to the top ever.
Everybody says, I want to represent India, but where is I want to win for India? That's one sentence I've never seen transition. And even now, people say, yeah, we can. Of course, one team is definitely going to make it to Ascension. Whoever it is going to represent India or represent the South Asian region. But you need to say, now we have to win. Do you feel like mindset is an issue when it comes to this kind of scenario?
Indian players, they don't think about it like we want to win fundamentally, correct? They don't think about it like that. They just, obviously, like I said before, they just want to do it the fast way, which is not the correct way. And every player should have this mindset that, yeah, I want to represent and also win, as you said.
Yeah.
For India and for for my teammates. I think it's time now that Indian players realize that we have lagged so much before and we have seen it happen live. So I think everyone should just start preparing in whatever team they are. This goes to every players.
Mentality and discipline. I would say that when I'll go way back, right? When I was first on Noble with my like brand new team, no experience, we'd scrim teams like Envy, which was Optic beforehand, right? Or whatever. And we were scrim partners with them all the time. And basically every single time we would scrim them, they would always talk shit to us. Every single time. If we made a dumb mistake, they would talk shit about us, right? Someone would type a question mark, they'd say, "What are you guys doing?" Right? Then we'd win like maybe 3 rounds every single time. And every single mistake, they would flame us for it in all chat, which did help pretty much all of my team, right? We all learned, okay, yeah, that was dumb. We shouldn't do that. Or like we took it as a way of improving. And I think it really helped us out early on, just kind of learning what's expected of us, what's kind of, how we should be playing, how you're supposed to play fundamentally, right? It was a lot of that CS mindset, which a lot of my players didn't really play. So it was kind of hard to teach them. But, it coming from another team that's professional, that was, going to LANs, going to internationals, and them, even though they always beat us badly, they would still help us get better by, their own way, which I thought was funny. But it was, it's kind of hard to have a bad mentality if every single day, right, you're scrimming this team, they talk shit to you all the time, they flame you, you make horrible mistakes constantly, but no one's that sad, mad, or upset or anything. We're like, okay, yeah, we could do better. And it's like that kind of builds up your mental fortitude a lot, right? It's a little bit different in matches, but if you're not tilting in scrims, then you're not going to tilt in a match like that.
Have you seen anything similar to that, or have you seen something like, do players accept that kind of, attitude here, or it is just,
I haven't seen any of it here. I haven't seen any of it here, but like, that was a long time ago. It still does kind of happen today. Like people would flame each other if you'd made like stupid plays constantly, or if it'd be a question mark, or maybe a little bit less up in your face about it. The more up in your face about it was more that those are the Counter-Strike players from NA. They've been experienced. They know what's going on, and they're just kind of, that's their way of being nice. If they're doing that to you, that means they like you.
Okay.
If they don't do that, they don't like you. A lot of the times I like to stick to the mentality of it doesn't really matter what the other team's doing or anything like that. We're simply focusing on how we're going to play the game, what we should be doing better, how we can improve, right? And like a simple way of doing that in general, right, is, you make a mistake, you think about it. What could you have done differently, right? And if you're always thinking about what could I have done differently, then you're going to keep your, mentality strong. You're going to be focusing more on improving rather than, oh, that guy hit a lucky shot, or, that was, pure luck or whatever, right?
Speaking of mentality, there's a lot of it that ties also back to home. KappA bhai, I want you to tell me a little bit about this, because you have gone past that entire stage. You've been playing for what now? 20 years or something? Yeah, 20 years you've been a professional esport player. Talk to me about the parent-child equation when it comes to esports. कैसा, like, आपके time पे कैसा था when you were going through your whole career? And अभी कैसा, has it changed? Has it been better? Has it become worse? Tell me a little bit about that. How is it in India?
अभी भी उतना नहीं चेंज हुआ है, क्योंकि अवेयरनेस उतना है नहीं अपने यहाँ पे। मोबाइल स्पोर्ट्स का ही ज़्यादा पॉपुलैरिटी है, पीसी स्पोर्ट्स के बारे में उतना नहीं है। तो मोबाइल स्पोर्ट्स के बारे में भी सिर्फ एक गेम के बारे में जानते हैं जनता, तो सब गेम्स के बारे में नहीं जानते। और उसमें भी क्या होता है कि पेड स्क्रीम्स वगैरह होते हैं, तो उनको लगता है सब जगह ऐसे ही होता है कि पैसे डालते हैं छोटे बच्चे, स्किन्स लेते हैं, या फिर खेलने के लिए, टूर्नामेंट खेलने के लिए भी पैसे देते हैं, और उस पर ही सब चलता है। तो अभी भी लोगों को पता नहीं है, और जितना जल्दी पता हो सके उतना अच्छा है। और पहले के टाइम में तो ऐसे लगता था कि पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करते थे कुछ बच्चों को नहीं बोलते थे, तो लेकिन देखो, बच्चों को जो करना है वो करेंगे, वो लोग फिर छुपा के करेंगे। तो उससे अच्छा है कि पेरेंट्स के साथ अगर बच्चे एकदम प्रॉपरली बात करेंगे, बताएंगे कि मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ, क्या कर रहा हूँ, क्या हो सकता है, बिना झूठ बोले, तो पेरेंट्स शायद समझ सकते हैं। लेकिन उसमें बहुत सारी अलग अलग सिचुएशंस आती है कि फैमिली बैकग्राउंड कैसा है, क्या है, स्टेबिलिटी है कि नहीं है, और कब तक करेंगे, एजुकेशन छोड़ के करोगे क्या। एजुकेशन छोड़ना, गेमिंग फुल टाइम फॉलो करना, तो मुझे नहीं लगता सही बात है, क्योंकि एजुकेशन तो करना ही चाहिए। एटलीस्ट एक लेवल तक तो करना चाहिए, उसके बाद पैशन फॉलो कर सकते हो। और नहीं कर पाए इसमें कुछ, तो तुम एजुकेशन जो तुम लोग ने लिया है उसके थ्रू भी बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकते हो।
बैकअप ऑप्शन।
हाँ, बैकअप ऑप्शन रहना ही चाहिए। तो पूरा बिना प्रेशर के, बिना टेंशन के तुम गेम खेल सकते हो, पूरा फोकस करके।
Yeah.
और अभी भी मुझे लगता है बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स अपने बच्चों को सपोर्ट करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन बच्चे उसका गलत फायदा उठाते हैं। ठीक है, कि झूठ बोल के एजुकेशन पे फोकस करने के लिए थोड़ा भी बोल रहे तो वो करते नहीं है। झूठ, खुद खुद से ऑनेस्ट होना चाहिए, वो होते नहीं है कभी, और ये सब चीजों का फायदा उठाते हैं। अगर कोई टीम में रहेंगे तो बोलेंगे कि उनको उनको कुछ होमवर्क दिया रहेगा कोच ने करने के लिए, टीममेट्स ने बोला रहेगा ये करो वो करो, कुछ चीजें करने के लिए बोली रहेंगे टाइम पे जो करना जरूरी है। ठीक है, वो गलत फायदा क्या उठाएंगे कि डैड ने मुझे ये करने के लिए बोला था, कि बहाना बनाएंगे। तो ये गलत फायदा तो प्लेयर्स अभी भी उठा ही रहे हैं। पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करते हो, लेकिन जब तक तुम झूठ बोलोगे कुछ नहीं अचीव कर पाओगे। क्योंकि बाकी सब जो स्पोर्ट्स में तुम्हारे अराउंड जो बंदे काम कर रहे हैं, वो लोग तुम्हारा भला ही चाहते हैं, उनसे ही तुम लोग झूठ बोलोगे। पेरेंट्स भी तुम्हारा भला ही चाहता है ना, कि कुछ तो तुम अच्छा कर पाओ खुद के लाइफ में, और उनसे भी तुम झूठ बोलोगे, क्या अचीव कर पाओगे उससे? कुछ नहीं होगा ब्रो। ये जब तक ये जब तक प्लेयर्स को नहीं समझेगा ना, टाइम वेस्ट होगा सबका, प्लेयर्स का भी और उनके अराउंड जो उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं उनका भी, और कहीं पहुंच नहीं पाएंगे उससे वो।
To become an esports player, obviously first is academics, and then obviously the setup. Sometimes a player does not have the right setup. That also costs him a lot. You know, to tell his parents to get me a setup because I want to become a professional Valorant player. That is something they have never heard of, and it's obviously not secure. So yeah, there are many struggles in becoming a pro esports player, and even after you become a pro esports player, you have to give your time, dedication, and all of the stuff to this game. And sometimes results don't go your way, due to which there is heartbreak. You might feel bad, but obviously, if you have passion, you will stick around, and yeah, results will come through. And obviously, if you love the game, then yeah, you'll keep going, and that's how you become a professional esports player and a good one.
Well, hope that you can do that under Ruby's direction. And Ruby's, speaking of something in terms of players itself, what are you thinking? What do you think about when we put a veteran player with experience against a new young age crack player who has great aim? What is your preference when you look at two of these kinds put in front of you?
I pretty much always prefer a mix, just so that I don't have to always time out just to reset everyone or get everyone calmed down. Because in a match, right, it's good to have high energy, but you also don't want the opposite, right? If you're all high energy or all low energy, it's always a problem. So I always prefer a lot more of a balance, right? Like when I build rosters in the past, if I had a lot of options, right, it'd be one or two, veteran experienced players, and then we'd bring in like one or two newer players that we can kind of help mold around what we want as a team, and they can be learning at the same time. Sometimes they're quieter, sometimes they're more vocal. It kind of just depends on the player, but I have always preferred a balance if I have an option.
So speaking of energy itself, right, now you've been with this team for a couple of weeks at least. Tell me a little bit about what you feel about every one of those players. Who brings the energy? Who's the calmer one? What do you feel about Ryzen? Tell me a little bit about Ryzen.
Ryzen, he does pretty good. I don't think he brings up the energy as much as he should, but that being said, we also have, I think, pretty much 4 players on the team have like really high energy. They can bring it all. Sometimes they have to be reminded to do that, or like to show up and like be ready, be set in to get to work, basically. Day's not done type of thing. But I think it's a lot easier to have high energy when 4 of your players are really easily able to hype each other up. Especially in a match, I know it'll go crazy when someone does like a good play, or if we do really well together, right? Everyone will freak out. It'll be a good time.
All right, great. All right, let's come to what I've been waiting for. Yeah, we are going to talk a little bit about every team that's going to be facing off against you guys in this VCLSA split 1 and 2. All right, let's start off. I just want you guys to give me your opinions. We're going to start off with RNTX Park, which has a pretty interesting roster, which was the previous Mogo roster. Antidote, Aziz, and all the jazz. Ryzen, tell me a little bit about what do you feel about this RNT roster?
I've played with them before. They are more of a contact and then explode sort of play style.
You've been that for 2 years, yes. Continue.
Yeah. So I think it will be the same. Yeah, they are good. Mechanically, they are very great. I feel like Aziz is a very talented player. They have two imports and a good IGL. Antidote is great at IGLing, I think, and making strategic plans. And Deathmaker, insane cracked game. So yeah, I think it will be a good time to play against them.
Let's go to the absolute new entrants. SA Duel. Soul Esports have made an entry back into Valorant after a bunch of years. And आपके एक टीममेट वहाँ पे कोच कर रहे हैं और एक
हाँ
एक्स टीममेट वहाँ पे अभी खेल रहे हैं.
हाँ
So tell me a little bit, what do you feel about this team? Helef, yeah, you've got King KappA, you've got Miss Techno and A-Star. What do you feel about this? And of course, helmed by Hellranger.
मुझे लगता है अच्छा टीम है। रोस्टर तो अच्छा है, लेकिन पहला इवेंट में बहुत स्ट्रगल होगा। जिनका जिनका मिक्स रोस्टर्स है, नया जब जस्ट बना है, उनको बहुत स्ट्रगल होगा फर्स्ट इवेंट में, लेकिन वर्क हो सकता है क्योंकि एक्सपीरियंस भी है और यंग प्लेयर्स भी है।
Since Hellranger is coaching them, I think it will be great. They won't make stupid mistakes or anything like that. I think it will be good to play against them.
Ruby's, I'm not sure if KappA told you, but one of his ex-teammates is currently coaching Soul Esports, and one of them is playing right now in the same team. So he's got a lot of friends right now who are in the league right now, in complete different positions. So what have you had a chance to look at this team?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I think you will be. I think that kind of puts you in a very interesting zone that they might not expect what you will bring to the table when you come with.
Oh yeah, it's different.
Academy.
I've been bringing some NA ideas back over here, and then also looking at masters and things like that. So it'll be definitely different because NA has had its meta for a long time. Like we love certain agents pretty much all the time. If they can be played on a map, we're gonna play that agent. So it's what I'm very used to, and kind of using that, when it's at an advantage for us, is going to be, I think, very beneficial.
Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Asterisks. And now Asterisk, I know you know a lot of players there, Ryzen.
They're great mechanically, but I feel like they're a bit impatient. If they just work on like being fundamentally correct, they can go very far because they are mechanically cracked. And I think I just hope the best for them. And yeah, just don't be impatient. Just be disciplined, and they can win. I feel like.
Now, there's one more team that I want to bring up, which is, of course, known for its roster changes. Sorry, Sharky bhai. But a team that changes almost every other 6 months have come up now with another interesting roster in mind. Deadly 10, Reckoning Esports have come up with Deadly 10, Rio, Tricky, and two again Russians who are going to be joining them, BGG and Moner. Now, this is I like this roster because again, the first time two Russians came here from Reckoning, they almost went through to Ascension. Again, these guys have found two other Russians. Do you guys feel like it might be the same route again? KappA bhai.
बोल नहीं सकते ब्रो। पहली बार अगर खेलते हुए किसी को देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे, और वो भी उनका पहले का रोस्टर अलग होगा, वो दो रशियंस का यहाँ पे आके खेलने वाले हैं, कैसे डेवलप होता है टीम उनका और क्या चल रहा है इनर सर्कल में उनके टीम में, वो कुछ आइडिया नहीं है। तो और उनको खेलते हुए भी देखा नहीं है वो रोस्टर को, तो अभी तो जज करना तो इम्पॉसिबल लगता है मुझे। ऑन पेपर रोस्टर तो बहुत तगड़ा भी लग सकता है, बहुत वीक भी लग सकता है, लेकिन एक बार उनको परफॉर्म करते हुए देखेंगे तभी कुछ बोल सकते हैं कि कैसे खेलते हैं वो। अभी तो कुछ नहीं ऑन पेपर। देख अभी जो वीएलटी का लाइनअप है, ये लोग इंटरनेशनल खेल के आए हैं, ऑन पेपर तो बहुत स्ट्रांग है, लेकिन सिर्फ ऑन पेपर स्ट्रांग रहने से गेम्स जीतते हैं क्या? नहीं हो सकता ना। वो ये खेलते हुए देखना है मुझे, फेस करेंगे एक दूसरे को, और लीग फॉर्मेट है तो बढ़िया है, सब खेलेंगे एक एक बार।
Reckoning की तो बात करेंगे, लेकिन tell me about Aura. I think you know a couple of these players as well. We have NZ, Roboxifer, Sinks. Some of these guys actually trialed alongside you, and you made it ahead of them.
Yeah, I think they went close with VLT, right? So
Yep.
on Lotus,
One game.
since they have made it this far, it's I think a great opportunity for them to just play and learn.
If they make an underdog run, honestly, I'd be happy. Not ahead of our team. Our team will win every time. That's how it's supposed to be. We've got another two teammates of KappA playing on Velocity Gaming VLT. Now, this, of course, I think Ruby's. Of course, I'm pretty sure you would have heard of SK Rossi at some point, right? Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah, and
Of
Lightning
course.
Fast as well. And of course, Russ, who recently played in Global Esports' main team last year.
I mean, I think they're going to do really well. They're stacked with a lot of experience. I've heard a lot of those players as well. So we're keeping our eyes on that one, and we're going to try our best when it comes.
We've got, of course, another eighth team that's going to be playing there, but that's still under, still construction, whether the team's going to be playing or not. We'll talk about that later. Do you feel like when you see an opponent, do you usually look at names or you just like, I don't care?
When I play, I don't care who I'm playing against. But yeah, Escarossi is a big name, and I've been a fan of Escarossi, so it will be a pleasure to play against him. And just waiting for G versus VLT again.
New El-Clasico, VAL-Clasico to come through. All right. Rubies, any players that you've heard of? Tell me about any player that you feel like right now it might be the best player in the league, and one player that you feel like is underrated and you need to watch out for. Anybody you might know or have heard of.
The only one I know is because my team is a whole fan, is SK Rossi. That's the one that I really know.
All right, fair enough.
That's the only one that I really know. Outside of that, I haven't gotten to look too much into it. I'm excited to see it. I'm going to watch along, obviously, throughout the whole, league, and it's going to be a good time. A lot of information there.
NV2K.
NV2K is the best player.
Underrated.
Underrated, okay. Okay, who's the best player?
बेस्ट प्लेयर पता नहीं मुझे ब्रो. वेंका खेल रहा है क्या?
I think so.
टेक्नो है, वेंका है. लास्ट सीजन में तो बढ़िया खेले थे, उसके ऊपर से मैं बोल रहा हूँ. अभी तो कोई खेला नहीं है, तो अभी कैसे बेस्ट प्लेयर जज करे भाई? अगर नाम ही लेना है तो एसके रॉसी बेस्ट प्लेयर है भाई.
चलो ठीक है, एसके रॉसी. And Ryzen, I mean, sorry, SK Rossi fan, do you agree? You are also SK Rossi?
Yeah, agree. Best. SK Rossi is the best player.
And who's the most underrated player in your
Might
opinion?
be someone from Aura, maybe.
Somebody from Aura, okay.
I think we are also underrated, but I won't say our name, but I want to say somebody else's name. Might be someone from Aura or maybe someone from Soul. I think A-Star is a good name. Like, he can make it.
Okay, all right. A-Star, have noted that. You're going to be playing against VLT now. That has been an extremely hot game in South Asia. Rubies, for just for a little bit of your context here, in the first year when we had the VCSA here, the grand final of the first ever Challenger League qualification to the international, events was happening through here, where we had to go from South Asia to the entirety of APAC, and then we face off, right? So the final game was VLT versus Global Esports, where KappA played and SK Rossi played, Lightning Fast played, and all of these players. That singular match of a BO5 hit over 1 million views on one stream. So it's been a very big and hotly debated and hotly loved game in this region. So you're going to be coaching one of the teams that now has come back and going to be playing that game again. Do you feel like that kind of rivalry is good to have, or do you feel like that might put pressure on your players?
Oh yeah, it's always good to have. I mean, there's rivalries all the time. They're your enemy. You want to beat them. You always end up fighting each other in bracket every single time, right? Or in this case, in the same league. I think it's always good. I think it's always great to have. I'm excited to see that. Then I'll try and do us proud.
Hopefully, all right. KappA bhai, now आप कितने साल बाद देख रहे हो वापस फिर से? We had the reruns and reruns again in VCSA for fun, but now it's serious. So, what do you feel about the VAL-Clasico again?
मजा तो आएगा. देखो, जो जी के प्लेयर्स थे वो अभी बिखरे हुए हैं सब टीम में, पुराने प्लेयर्स. तो हर एक गेम में मजा आ सकता है, बस उतना क्वालिटी गेम प्ले दिखा दे.
It will push players of both the teams to be better. These sort of rivalries, they are good, just like aRubyz said.
And do you have anybody in particular that you're looking forward to kind of, saying that, yeah, look, I am good as well? Is it going to be SK Rossi itself? Do you want to prove yourself to him?
Yeah, maybe.
Why are you
Whole team.
blushing? What's with the
No,
blush?
no.
Because I love Esgarasi, man.
Okay. Who do you guys think might win VCLSA 2025?
अपना team.
Yeah. I was waiting. Why did it take 3 seconds?
I'm gonna
That
say
did it.
yes.
It should be a reflex. Who's gonna win G Academy? That's what's supposed to be. But yeah, if you guys had to name one team apart from yourselves, who do you think might take it all?
It could be Soul or VLT. I think I'll go with Soul.
Okay. Rubies?
I'll go with VLT because my whole team is, a fan, and this is the one team that I do know because of that.
KappA bhai?
RNT.
RNT. Okay. It seems like the contact meta still going to work for KappA bhai. We're gonna go with the contact meta. All right. Rubies, because you're the one who came in new here, I want you to tell me every player that you are coaching right now, all 5 of them, 6 of them actually. Tell me about each one of them. Tell me, we'll start off with Ryzen. Tell me about what are the good things about him. Tell me what's the one thing that you noticed that that he needs to work on.
Okay. The good things about him is he's very good at fade, which I haven't seen as often in info players. Usually fade's the harder one, so it was the easier one. Very good at info. Generally doesn't need too much direction in that, albeit, still some, but he's pretty naturally good at that character and that role specifically, info. And then what he needs to get better at, right? And we've been working on this is just IGLing, stepping up, being the leader of the team that an IGL needs to be, kind of helping spread that culture, and being the leader figure that a team needs when something's going wrong. They look to you for guidance, right? So working on that, learning that is, it's a hard skill to learn, but it is extremely important as an IGL, and I think he's been making really good progress towards it.
All right. Okay. Ryzen. Interesting. Next, what about Kibo? What do you feel about Kibo? What are your thoughts on him?
Kibo has been very vocal. He's been very naturally suited towards a flex role, very vocal, very on top of things, pretty good at bringing the energy up when needed, right? Which is always what, you want in a flex player who generally plays more of a support role, kind of like Breach, things like that. So I think he's naturally suited to that role, which is great. He's been very open to learning. He's very, and pretty much the whole team is very open to learning, open to improving, want to get better, having that mentality that we can do better, we can be better, that sort of thing. So I think he's been great for that.
Our youngest player, UV, he's just 16, and he does have a lot of ability in him. What do you feel about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a young player, young talent, very good at aiming. He needs to learn kind of how to play around a team, which is obvious, right? That's young players always like that. But, very naturally gifted, very good at what he does specifically, especially when he, puts his mind to it. You can see it every single time.
Let's talk about Envy. Now, in KappA's opinion, he's underrated as hell. What do you feel about him?
I think he's really good. He's always consistent. He does his role really well as a duelist, right? The meta right now is mainly Raze, which is one of the harder duelists. So it's good to see him, be pretty comfortable on that agent already. Some duelist players get kind of stuck in the, the Jet, maybe the Yoru is like the newer one, ISO, for example, right? Which we see a lot of, things like that, right? But I think he does really well. We've been working on like improving in general. He seems to be taking it to heart. I don't need to ask him twice to do something most of the time. It's like I say it, he implements it, he does it. No questions asked, right? Which is perfect. So I think he is going to be, one of the top underrated players if he keeps on that path.
All right, great. Talk to me about Lil Boy.
Lil Boy can basically pop off at any moment randomly. Right? Like he just wins the round with him, which is, always great to have. Still needs to work on like learning and getting used to the smokes role, right? Learning the, not just the basic stuff, but usually the more advanced stuff. You never get it right the first time, but he has been getting gradually better and better over time, which is always great. So I think he will do really well.
All right, and our final player, Smoker. What do we feel about him?
Smoke, I think he's really good. He's honestly surprised me a lot. He seems to be pretty experienced, which is always nice to have. He's a bit more mellowed out, which, like I talked about, right, really helps balance out things. So he's usually the one that's more mellow, more calm, more like the same. Keeps it level-headed, which is always good.
Yeah.
Sometimes, gets a little excited, gets a little too vocal sometimes, and overcomes things. But we're all working through that together as a team. We pretty much, I think, everyone does that.
KappA bhai, हमने साथ में टीम सेलेक्ट की थी, टीम अभी प्रैक्टिस तक आ चुकी है और आप उनके साथ रहे हो ज़्यादातर. टेल मी अबाउट व्हाट डू यू फील अबाउट द टीम जब से हमने सेलेक्ट किया है तो अभी तक.
है डिफरेंस तो काफी है, मतलब इम्प्रूव कर रहे हैं कि ऐसा नहीं है मेहनत नहीं कर रहे हैं, बस कभी कभी खो जाते हैं, स्पीड कम हो जाता है एक दो दिन में, मतलब जो पूरा दिन में फोकस रहना चाहिए वो अभी तक नहीं आ रहा है। कुछ प्लेयर्स को पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम्स भी है, घर पे कुछ है, तो वो सब मैनेज करना अभी सीख रहे हैं। एक स्कूल में दो लोग स्कूल में जाते हैं, कॉलेज में एग्जाम्स चल रहे हैं अभी,
या
उसका पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट मंथ ही एग्जाम चालू हो जाएंगे, तो वो सब टाइम मैनेज करना सीख रहे हैं।
या
और मुझे लगता है कि कोशिश तो हर प्लेयर कर रहा है इंडिविजुअली, बस एज अ टीम कैसे कोई प्रॉब्लम को फेस करना है, इन गेम हो या आउटसाइड हो, वो सीखेंगे धीरे धीरे करके।
You tell me about what has it taken for you. You went through the entire process of getting selected. Talk to me about how was it difficult to reach G Academy?
जी एकेडमी तक पहुंचना लाइक ज़्यादा हार्ड नहीं था. द मैनेजमेंट ऑलरेडी न्यू कि हु आई एम, लाइक ऑब्वियसली अंडरडॉग सॉर्ट ऑफ टैलेंट. थोड़े इश्यूज होते हैं जो सारी टीम्स उसके थ्रू जाती हैं, सो वी आर जस्ट फिक्सिंग दैट. एंड yeah, it has been great recently. For me, this team is like a blessing because I've never had such a team where every player is so, you know, mechanically blessed. And I just have to like teach them what to do in the like game. So yeah, it's just like a blessing to me right now.
Speaking of teaching them, you were chosen as the IGL. You are leading the team right now. Have you done that in the past before?
Before, I never wanted to be an IGL, but then I realized that players make silly mistakes which can be prevented. So I took up the IGL role in Asterix. And like, if I don't bring results, then that will be on me. Like, give me full trust for now, and obviously, I'll teach them the correct thing only. Sometimes maybe they don't listen. You just have to like tell them, just just listen this time.
That'll
Yeah.
happen no matter what team. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long you've IGL'd. It's gonna be, hey guys, we need to listen when I say something, right? When I call it, we'd listen. Always gonna happen.
The fans are very, emotionally connected here. And as far as I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you know how the Indians fans
Oh
are.
yeah.
There's one
I've
really
noticed.
nice part of it and one not so nice part of it. What can they expect from you?
I'm very used to it. But I mean, we're hoping to come out there and show that we can play, top tier professional level Valorant, which we're trying to kind of, that's been our goal, is to just play like the professionals, become a professional, right? Now we are, so now we must, act like it, right? It's one thing to say you are, it's another thing to act like you are.
Yep.
So that's what we're hoping to do, and we're hoping that that's going to bring us a lot of wins, a lot of victories, and a great run.
मजा आएगा गेम देखने, जलवा भी होगा शायद, अनएक्सपेक्टेड रिजल्ट्स दिख सकते हैं ये VCSA में। तो मैं होप करता हूँ कि जैसे पहले टीम को सपोर्ट किया था वैसे ही ये भी टीम को सपोर्ट करें, और नए प्लेयर्स है थोड़ा चांस दे दो, थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा तो लगेगा, लेकिन बेटर परफॉर्म करेंगे 100%।
And for all the people who, if you want to support GE, then make sure that you buy the jerseys, buy all the apparel at gefighting.com. You've got everything available. We're going to get one sent over to Ruby's as well as soon as possible, I hope, so that even he
That'd be
can,
great.
so he can sit in the coach cam with his jersey. VCLSA 2025 Split 1 starts on 4th of February, 3:30 p.m. IST. That's when it all begins, and Global Esports Academy will be playing there. I'll be there, they'll be there, we'll all be there to support it. We'll see you online. Bye-bye.